how is this not how is this not considered a declaration of war by the Israeli government on the UN and UN member nations? Uh, Forcibly entering into a UN base is war. Attacking UN peacekeepers is a war on the UN. If this was any other nation, the United States would be making those claims that that nation is looking to have a war with the UN. But because it's the Israeli government, the United States is not going to say anything about it. But the Israeli government forcing its way onto a UN base is a declaration of war against the UN.
UN peacekeepers are, day after day, finding themselves in the crosshairs of Israel's war on Hezbollah. The UN mission in Lebanon, UNIFIL, says Israeli tanks forcibly entered the gates of one of its bases in southern Lebanon and destroyed the main gate early on Sunday. In a statement, the United Nations interim force in Lebanon said, while peacekeepers were in shelters, two IDF Merkava tanks destroyed the position's main gate and forcibly entered the position.
How can uh, Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government claim that they're the most moral government, that they're following every single international law, when they're wide in the open, breaking every single international law, thinking they have the right to do whatever they want because they're quote unquote God's chosen people?
Peacekeepers at the same position also reported the firing of several rounds nearby which emitted smoke. UNIFIL says, despite putting on protective masks, 15 peacekeepers suffered effects including skin irritation and gastrointestinal reactions after the smoke entered the camp.
So, yeah, so they're attacking UN peacekeepers, which goes against international law and is a declaration of war against UN members. If this was any other government doing this, the United States and their allies would be screaming about how that nation is declaring war. If this was Russia attacking UN peacekeepers, Biden would be screaming about it.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling on the UN to remove UNIFIL from the border, saying peacekeepers are providing a human shield to Hezbollah.
Wow. The constant use of human shield, human shield, human shield as some kind of excuse for the Israeli government to be able to do what they want while they actively kidnap Palestinian kids and use them as human shields.
We regret the injury of UNIFIL soldiers and we're doing everything in our power to prevent injuries. But the simple and obvious way to ensure this is to simply get them out of the danger zone.
Yeah, that's again another excuse by the Israeli government for injuring innocent people, people trying to help. You're in the danger zone, so if you get hurt, it's your fault. When the Israeli government thinks that they can claim any area that they want as a danger zone and start harming people, the Israeli government is a terrorist rogue nation, and they should be declared that by the UN.
The incident on Sunday took place at the Ramya observation post. UNIFIL says that on Saturday, IDF soldiers stopped a critical UNIFIL logistical movement near Meis el Jabel, denying it passage. International criticism is growing, with Israeli forces repeatedly firing on peacekeepers. 5 of them have been wounded in recent days.
The UN peacekeepers need to use their right to self-defense to fight against the Israeli government. I know that they don't want to, that like the leader of the UN peacekeeper says he doesn't want that to happen, but Nothing is going to stop the Israeli government from injuring and killing innocent people unless you show them that they can't do that. As long as they're as long as they're getting basically the green light to say, hey, you can do whatever you want, we're not going to do anything, they're going to continue to do whatever they want. If you continue to allow the Israeli government to kill and injure more UN peacekeepers, they're just going to continue and kill more UN peacekeepers because nobody's going to stop them.
The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, in a phone call with Netanyahu, stressed the urgent need for a de-escalation of the conflict and said attacks on peacekeepers were unacceptable. Italy contributes 868 military personnel to